It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my co-host, pal, the man, the plan, the one and only John Meleka. And with us, as always, is the foundation himself, video producer Greg. We back, baby. We up and running. Jets win with the one and only Mike White. Because you know what? He's him, John. He's him, Greg. Mike White is him. He goes out there. He said, "Oh, guess what? You want to have this conversation? You want a QB controversy now? I got it. I'm gonna throw for over 300 yards. I'm gonna give you 3 touchdowns. I'm gonna give you 149.3 QBR rating, or just rating, whatever. I don't even care, man. I'm just hyped. I'm just hyped. We see efficient play from a quarterback for once, a man who was legitimately threading the needle. This guy was precise. He was calm, cool. He saw the pressure coming. He was like, nah, I got Garrett Wilson. Nah, I got Elijah Moore. 10 different receivers, my guys. 10 different receivers. He went 22 for 28. Man, it's good when you have a quarterback for the New York Jets, when you have a good, solid defense that said, oh, Chicago Bears, white work, just like a peanut. But yo, I'm just hyped, bro. I'm just hyped because we got Mike White back in action again. And, of course, he has to only win in a black jersey against a city that begins with a C, a team that begins with a B. You know, that's the only way that's the only way this man comes out anywhere and just decides to go ham. I'm just hyped, guys, like I said. John, I mean, listen, what are you feeling?
You want to be superstitious and keep it rolling? I'm down. Keep the black jerseys rolling with Mike White. You want to keep that rolling? I'm down with it. Listen, man.
White can only wear black.
White can only wear black. No problem. You should be hyped, man. 7-4, and this is the first New York Jets game this season that they've been favored in. And listen, they showed out. Maybe I didn't get 17-3 like I wanted at half, but I had 17-10. All right. And Claypool honestly beat Sauce. All right. Like, you know,
no such thing as a perfect shutout, bro. No such thing. Everyone gets lucky.
I mean, it wasn't lucky. He beat him on him, but listen, he recovered.
Yeah, after pushing the living daylights out of him. Come on, man.
I mean, listen, he had that 31-yarder. Otherwise, Claypool ended with 2 receptions, 51 yards. So it's all good. He got beat once, and we recovered on the defense. We'll talk about the defense in a second, dude, because right now it is the Mike White show, and you started controversy, Alex. There is no controversy right now at all. Mike White is the starting quarterback for the New York Jets.
Yes.
But listen, dude, it was an amazing win. It was a disgusting game at MetLife, in the stands. We don't know how to act yet. Listen, we just figured out how to get inside at the right time. Now we have to figure out how to shut up when the Jets are on offense. Like, literally, they asked Mike White after the game, how do you feel about the Jets chanting your name? He's like, it was a unique situation because, like, yeah, it's great. But also, you guys got to shut up because we're on offense. Like, I'm trying to communicate. It's so funny. We literally don't know how to act. So we're all growing together here.
We legitimately don't know. Hey, man, it's been a minute since we saw this team win so many games. So, yeah, we don't know how to act. I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, Mike White, dude, he looked like a real quarterback. And everybody said the same thing. He made the easy look easy. And when you go back and you listen to Coach Saleh talk about Wilson throughout the season, that's all he's talking about. He's like, yo, we just got to make the easy throws. Just got to make the easy plays. And like now, it's just so funny. Now all he said was Mike White just made the easy throws. He was 5 for 5, and then he missed that 5 for 6 with the screen in the dirt, which was a good pass, right? he honestly gets this offense rolling, like you said, getting to all these players. But man, he has this entire team rolling. You see how hyped everyone is? The tight ends, the offensive linemen, everybody's hyped with Mike White. It's a little unfair with what we're all doing to Zach Wilson. We'll get to that in a second. With his hood, and they're like videoing
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's kind of
Evil
tough.
Anakin.
We are really stomping on him. Like, he's already down, he's already out, he's benched, he's inactive, he doesn't even have a helmet, and now we're like really like
We're legit as a fan base. When you say we don't know how to act, we legit don't know when to shut up when our team's on offense, and we just don't know when to stop beating a dead horse.
yeah, we're kind of killing Zach Wilson right now. But Greg, quarterback guru right now. You right about Kirk Cousins. So about Derek Carr, I guess. Right about Russell Wilson.
Big win this week.
Yeah, 2 in a row, overtime.
Yeah.
Right
Oh man, we're really burning this fire, aren't we?
What do you think about Mike White?
Dude, he looked good. I mean, I watched that first drive a dozen times. Like, just to you guys' point, like, it's just he got the ball, someone's open, he just throws it and he hits the guy in the number. Like, what more can you ask for? He's not like he's taking what the defense gives him. He's making the easy stuff look easy, which is hard to do in the NFL. And, dude, again, that first drive, I mean, there's so many things to look at, but the one thing that really stood out to me, not only was he just hitting guys that were open, he was hitting guys in stride. To your point, John, everyone's playing for him. I think he had that one pass to Garrett Wilson, like on the right side. Who's out there blocking? It's Conklin and it's CJ. Both tight ends are out on the boundary blocking two guys, and then Garrett Wilson can go for 11 yards. The very next two plays, go to Conklin. Like, everyone's playing. They're not, like, everything's gelling. Everything's coming together. It was great to see. It just makes me feel, again, more confident. We talk about it week in and week out now, about Mike LaFleur, about Robert Saleh, about Joe Douglas. Like, I'd really feel confident about this front office and its coaching staff. We know the offense can work if we have competent QB play, and it was awesome to see. It was an ugly game, terrible weather, but it was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to talk about and tweet about on Twitter, so it was great. It was a great week.
That's a fact. And
Another great week at Jet Life, bro. I can't believe how many great home games the Jets have had. I can't remember a season where we just had straight up amazing home games.
By the way, John, I know you were looking for 17-3, but we were both close, man. You got the 17-10. You got the 17-10. I thought 32-17. I got my 31-10. I'll take that any day of the week.
Greg had in the 30s too, and I was like, no, you guys it's a little bit much. I don't know. I like Mike White too, but let's calm down a little bit. But you guys were totally right. The Bears stink. Let's not forget that. It was the first game the Jets were favored.
But you got to beat who's in front of you, man. Because guess what? If the Jets make this a competitive game, they're like, is it really Mike White? What is this team's direction? The fact that we came out of here and we're dominant, you got to say, all right, the Jets are not messing around anymore. And now I know we go into 2 tough matchups after this, but dude, like, this offense was clicking. Everything that you saw, man. Like, we talk about all the receivers. We got to talk about your guy Bam Knight though, because Bam Knight, man, 14 carries for 69 yards. Averaging 5 yards a carry, man. His longest one was 19 yards. I wish he got a TD, man, because then it would really thrown everything like haywire for Jets land to see Bam Knight go ham, bro. Let's hear your thoughts, John. I know you too, Greg. You both love Bam.
Oh,
Knight.
yeah.
You guys were all over Bam Knight.
I mean, Bam Knight was killing it for us in NC State, and we were watching every single game from him. That's the beauty of college football for us. You can catch us on Winning Picks Weekly, but I digress. Honestly, dude, Bam Knight is who we thought he was, and honestly, who this team thought they were. I just can't believe he was undrafted. It's insane. He's been killing it in the entire preseason. It's not like Little John Flowers, right? If you're a big Jets fan, you know, like those preseason guys that we throw out there, they get these like random touchdowns, but then they can't really cut it in the NFL. Bam Knight is a real deal. He's a rookie. We get to keep the 6th round pick for James Robinson instead of it being a 5th round pick if he doesn't gain another 260 yards. There's some talk about his sore right knee. There's some talk about they don't like the way he's running in this offense. Maybe he's not right for it. Whatever it is, keep him on the team. Make sure he doesn't get 260 yards. Start Bam Knight. have Ty Johnson behind him. I absolutely love it. Nate Herbig, he gave up the only 2 pressures of the day, but dude, he's been so good. I mean, shout out to Joe Douglas for that. Of course, the tight ends are blocking. You didn't even mention Bam Knight receiving, dude. 3 catches, 34 yards out of the backfield. Like, what else do you want from the guy? A rookie, guys, a rookie.
First game.
First game debut. Him and Tyler Johnson and Mike White. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's what he's coming out to. Who knows who's at right tackle? Nate Herbig just coming back. Like, this guy is, everything's against him. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and I think Robert Saleh said in his press conference, I don't know if it was post-game yesterday, if it was the press conference of today, the biggest thing that stood out to him is just fresh legs. Like, he had a motor, and he was looking to hit people. It's a late in the season for a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys have been playing all season. They're beat up. They're banged up. He came in fresh, ready to go. To your point, Long was the 19 on the rushing. Dude, a lot of these guys, Ty Johnson, 32 on the long. Braxton Berrios, 10-yard run. Like, the Jets have talked all season about explosive plays. We had explosive plays not only in the rushing attack, but also in the passing game, which was great to see with Mike White. But, dude, I love Bam. Ty Johnson, we had some things to say in the preseason. We had some things to say in the offseason about him. He was able to catch a ball. He was able to make some plays. He had 60 yards, so it was great to
30-yard after contact, dude. He literally
it was great. It was great to see. To your point about Robinson, John, the one thing that stood out to me again when on that Robert Saleh press conference talking about Bam Knight and why they like him so much, he mentioned that again that Bam is like a one-cut guy, and that really fits the system. Where some of these other guys, they wait for the play to develop a little bit, take a little time. Bam makes one cut, gets upfield. That was his big thing. He gets upfield quick, and he gets upfield with authority. So I think juice was the word that he said. So I love hearing that. I love seeing it. And that's what we need. Late in the season, we need guys that are fresh, ready to go to hit somebody. And, I mean, we'll talk about the defense later, but when I was watching the condensed game on replay a couple times, dude, I don't know if they turn the volume up when we're on defense or what, but I feel like we're hitting guys. Like the pads are making noise. People are popping people. Balls are falling on the floor. Like, guys are out here hitting people. So I love to see it from the defense. I also love to see it from the offense. To your point, John, a lot of those runs for these guys were after contact. So,
hey, Elijah Moore taking contact. He was like, yo, let me shed this tackle right now and show that I'm really active.
Garrett Wilson threw a guy.
He
threw a grown man in the end zone and made a touchdown. Like, it was crazy.
Bro, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, this is why it was just so frustrating when you watch Zach Wilson, because there's a lot of weapons on this team. We have depth, bro. We have depth. Even John, you know how we were both like, I don't know, man. Offensive line, do we really have depth? Greg, you were here too. It's like, well, we have depth at the offensive line. We have depth at our skilled positions. They just need someone to get them the ball. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Tyler Conklin, Bam Knight, CJ Uzama getting in here, Ty Johnson, everybody, man. Everybody got a little bit of action today. Yeah,
and look at those longs. Look at those long receptions. It was Garrett Wilson, 52 yards. Elijah Moore, 42 yards. Tyler Conklin, 29 yards. Like, these are big explosive plays. Like the Jets talk about as an explosive play being a play over 20 yards. We had, 4 of those today on Sunday. Like, it's great to see, man. And a couple that were like 16, 19 yards. So, great to see guys making plays. It's great to see Mike White, just like you guys were saying, letting the offense operate. Hit a guy, let him make a play. And it was awesome. I mean, I hope we keep seeing this going forward.
I think our guy who was on the show, Connor Hughes, said it best, is that he knows his limitations and he knows what he like. I think that is the big thing. Knowing what you can't do, just playing within your envelope. That has just been what Mike White has been all about. You know, he doesn't
completing passes. 22 28. I mean, that's why he's in the Hall of Fame, for completing passes. And he showed it again today. Like, I'm looking at the stat line, Alex. I was waiting for you to comment on that, like, first thing, because you love the stats. And Mike White went 22 for 28 with 315 yards and 3 touchdowns, bro. Like, you haven't said anything near that all year. You're always and when you look at the other side, it's so funny to be like, just on the other side. Sometimes you just got to step back for 1 second and not have Zach Wilson there and have Mike White kill it. And then you're staring at Trevor Siemian's stat line, like 14 for 25, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
That's what we're used to.
Yeah, QBR 30, that's Zach Wilson. And like around the league, I'm like looking at stat lines, I'm like, that looks like Zach Wilson. That looks like Zach Wilson. like Andy Dalton. That looks like it's crazy. So it is refreshing. The only bad news, like as hyped as we are about Bam Knight and Ty Johnson, I think that's again an ode to the depth. It sucks that Michael Carter he has an ankle right now. We're not sure about the severity. We'll hear more this week. We'll get on that on the Minnesota preview coming up on Nick Jets, etc. Check us out on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review and hit us with a comment. It really helps us out. But shout out to the Jets for being able to, first of all, have the wherewithal to, because Moore obviously is active now, right?
Mhm.
Because with Mike White, obviously you have Wilson. Berrios has got to get in there.
Yep.
And, you have Michael Carter, but you have the wherewithal to put in Bam Knight and dress him for the game. You got the wherewithal to put in Tyler Johnson for this exact reason. You know what I mean? Like we could have been screwed this game. It would have just been like Ty Johnson and Berrios. Those would have been our running backs.
Yeah.
If Bam Knight wasn't in today, Michael Carter got hurt. So, they had a tough time because they had to keep Mims in because he's been killing it, and Corey Davis came back. So they had a tough time like trying to figure out who to keep active, who to keep inactive. It sucks that, and we'll get into it on the defense. I'm sorry for skipping ahead, but Chaz Surratt, bro, one tackle and then he gets hurt. I'm so pissed. I'm so happy he was active, but like I'm happy. Kind of nerdy, but just like last note, because I'm pissed about Michael Carter. Good job, like somehow maneuvering this depth chart. You know what I mean? Like this whole
It's insane.
I'm so
Comes
happy
down
that
to-
Bam Knight was there, bro. He saved us.
We talked about it last week, man, is that when Robert Saleh made this move to even just start Mike White over Zach Wilson, it's like when he sat Elijah Moore, right? He has like the wherewithal, understands his team very well, just knows all the moving pieces. I mean, look, let's go back to Connor Hughes and what he talked about before the game even started and how he noted the entire team is rallying behind him, how they love him, they support him, they're happy for him, all these things. And it just seems like he's such, like for Mike White, he's like everyone just gravitates towards him. That comes to your head coach knowing the pulse of the locker room. So for Robert Saleh, just being able to rearrange the depth chart, just knowing what you're going in for, kudos to him on that, because this is just a different level of head coaching that we've experienced. It's not loud and boisterous like Rex Ryan. It's not quiet and somewhat aloof with Todd Bowles. It's not crazy eyes like
God, don't get me started on Todd Bowles.
Yo, I've never been so vindicated in my whole life in this whole Todd Bowles situation. I'm so happy it's with Tom Brady. Like, don't even, check us out Win Pigs Weekly if you want us to go off on that a little bit, because I am so happy about that.
It's just been so
vindicated. But
it's just so different, man. This coaching is so different.
Alex,
it is.
We have a chance to be coach of the year. He has a chance to be coach of the year if he does something in these next 2 games. Greg, what do you think, man?
I think so too. I think it's to your point, Alex, about the depth chart. It's crazy to think, like, again, Bam Knight 69 yards, Ty Johnson 62 yards, so 120, 130 yards between the two of them. Those are our running backs 4 and 5. Like, we lost Michael Carter, we lost James Robinson, who we traded for in the middle of the season. Don't even get me started on losing Breece Hall, and we're still having production at the position. It's just great to see. And then the wide receivers and the pass catching tight ends. I mean, when's the last time we had a tight end duo like we have with Conklin and CJ Uzomah? I mean, it's not even the pass catching. It's the blocking. It's the attitude. It's being in the mix. It's hyping guys up. Like, I love CJ so much. I don't care if he gets a catch any game, dude. He's in the locker room. He's on TikTok. He's hanging out with dudes. Off the field, on the field, he's in the meetings making sure shit's right. Like, he is great to have in this locker room. I've always liked him from afar because I think he's a cool guy. But now that he's part of this organization, when they said he's a locker room guy and like he's a leader, like you can see that coming through. And then Tyler Conklin's a young guy who can go out there and make 6-7 catches and get you some big plays. Let the young guy do his thing and let CJ just stand back, block a couple guys, throw a couple guys off the field like he does. It's incredible to watch. I can't remember the last time we had a tight end duo like this. And
synergy.
Again, last time we had someone throw for 300 yards with 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. I don't know when the last time that happened for the Jets was.
Last year, Mike White, baby. It was last year, Mike White with 4 touchdowns for 400 yards, my guy.
No interceptions? He had no interceptions that game, too?
No
God damn, Mike White. I mean, he might be the guy. He might be the guy. Let's get these black uniforms rolling. I'm not nervous. I mean, we'll talk about it in the preview. I'm not nervous about this 31st ranked defense in the Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely. So I'm actually going to ask you so then are you going to Minnesota?
I'm not going to Minnesota, no. Not going to Minnesota.
Of course I know you are, John. You're the nut. All right.
John's a lunatic. I'm not going to Minnesota.
I'm going to Minnesota.
But speaking about Mike White, Zach Wilson, Mike White. I brought it up. QB controversy. John says, nah, it's Mike White. Connor Hughes says it's his job to lose. I would agree. I think all of us would agree. It's Mike White's job to lose. I don't know if you guys heard this conversation because it's very interesting what Richard Sherman had to say, but I wonder what you guys think. He talks about how, pedigrees and all that type of stuff with Zach Wilson, and it's like Richard Sherman says he's sick of pedigrees. He looks at Mike White, he's like, that guy competes, his teammates love him. You got to roll with some guys. He's actually produced unlike Zach Wilson. He actually also I don't agree with this part. He said Mike White is a franchise quarterback. That part, I'm like, let's slow off a little bit. I do agree with the pedigree stuff and all that stuff. Like, I think we inflate all this stuff with contract value, draft position, all that. But what do you guys think about not what Richard Sherman said, but Zach Wilson versus Mike White, man? I mean, we're back here at square one again. We had this same discussion last year where Mike White, we call him Hall of Fame Mike White because he's in the Hall of Fame after that game against the Cincinnati Bengals and just performs. And we're like, yo, this guy's doing stuff Zach Wilson's not doing. Should we roll with this guy? And we were able to go back to Zach Wilson because didn't play well against Indiana, stunk it up against Buffalo, and then it was still first year Zach Wilson. You could say he's a rookie, got to come in. We weren't winning at all last season, so it made sense. Now we're winning. Now we're fighting for a playoff. We're in the hunt, all right, and we have a good chance to go make the.
We're in the playoffs, my friend.
Fair.
We're in the playoffs.
It's still nothing said. That's what I'm saying. Hunt, but okay. I feel you. But we are in a critical spot right now where we can't afford to lose any more games, especially when it comes to Detroit, Seattle, Jacksonville, Miami. But these next 2 games are very important. But what do you guys think about Wilson and the Mike White situation right now?
Dude, I think to your point, I think let's keep easy things easy. Let's take a page out of Mike White's book. It's his job to lose. I think that Zach Wilson may or may not have a long, awesome career here in the New York Jets, but it seems like we're focused right here, right now. Again, Mike White, remember, he had one good game against Cincinnati last year. He also had 3 not-so-great games, the other 3 games he played. So we have 2 tough opponents in Minnesota. Again, not too worried about Minnesota, not too worried about Buffalo. We beat them once already this year. But if Mike White can keep doing what he's doing, he doesn't need to be special. That's why I think like Richard Sherman's comments about he could be a franchise quarterback, it's like when you say the term franchise quarterback, you think of people like Aaron Rodgers or like Tom Brady that can make all the throws, that can lead a team, blah, blah, blah. But there's also franchise quarterbacks who are just like really good. And if you have an incredible team around them, you can make a deep playoff run. So, I think Mike White has the ability to. He's shown it last year against Cincinnati. He's shown it this year against the Chicago Bears, but against the Chicago Bears. Let's see what he does this week. Robert Saleh was asked about it in his press conference. He's focused on this week. He's focused on winning right now, which is great to hear. When's the last time you heard a Jets coach on November 28th going into the first game of December say, I'm focused on winning right now because we're in the playoffs? I mean, it's incredible. So I think, let's just focus on right now. Mike White had a great game. If he can just keep doing the easy things, this team is good enough to carry him and carry everyone else to a playoff run. That's how I think about Mike White and Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson showed he can't do it. So what are we talking about?
I mean, I agree. It has to be week by week here. It has to be merit-based situation. And honestly, like we talked about, the Jets front office has been talking about that. Doesn't matter when you're drafted, Elijah Moore. Doesn't matter. You talk, even if you're right. If you talk out of line, you're gonna get benched. If you talk against the team, you're gonna get benched. If you can't do the job, Zach Wilson, you're gonna get benched. If you talk against the team, like we perceived, you're gonna get benched. And it's a game by game basis. However, I don't think the leash is short for Mike White. Like if he does bad against Minnesota, if he does bad against Buffalo, he still gets the start for the 2 home games. But he better do well in those home games, because if not, we are going to go back to Zach Wilson. And I don't think it's going to be Flacco. I think it has to be Zach Wilson at that point. So,
Not Strevler?
I mean, I'm cool with Strev if Zach Wilson is really, pouting for real, in the practice field and in the locker room and during the meetings and stuff. They know more than us. If he continues his pouting, yeah, sure, put Strevler, put Flacco, whatever it is. But we are winning now. This defense is real. I mean, there's no controversy right now. It's Mike White. I think even if he has an abysmal 2 games, he still has the 2 home games at MetLife to show out. So I think he's at least a starter for the next 4 games.
For the next 4 games. Okay.
Alex, what do you think about it? And also, too, what do you think about the people, the Zach Wilson defenders out there? There's few, but there's a proud bunch who's really talking up on Twitter about how it was the Chicago Bears defense. And if you put Zach Wilson out there this week, Zach Wilson would have a similar stat line because it's the Chicago Bears defense. They got injured during the game. They were injured going into the game. The defense traded away their best players throughout the year. They really had nobody. And it was just right time, right place for Mike White. It wasn't that he's a better quarterback than Zach Wilson.
Just stop. I don't want to hear like, well, he could have, he would have been able to do. No. Guess what? He's had opportunities and he hasn't. He has not. Okay? You want to know how it was a good opportunity? When you had the Pittsburgh Steelers who didn't have Minka Fitzpatrick that day, and you had a injured Pittsburgh defense. They were doing a QB switch midway through, and that still came down to the wire. Mike White comes in here is like, oh, guys are missing? Cool. Let me make some easy passes, find my weapons, and let them go make a play. Like, I don't want to hear that. I legitimately do not want to hear that. Zach Wilson has had enough opportunities to show that he could give us something outside of the Tennessee game, outside of the 4th quarter of the Pittsburgh game, and outside of like slight improvement last year towards the end of last season. Nothing has really wowed me. It's just been encouragement like, yo, he's young, he's this. And you can only go for so long when you actually have seen production. And that's what Richard Sherman says, and that's what I agree with. We've actually seen production. Whether or not it's against lesser competition, he still is struggling. Look, I don't even look at the New England Patriots as that big of a hurdle. And he only had two. He only led the offense to 2 total yards in the second half.
Crazy.
Like, come on. Like, let's cut it out here.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys. I think it's like Mike White until he flops. He has the opportunity. I think 4 games is a lot, man. I really think that he'll get 3. I think it'll depend after the 2 games and how he plays against who is that?
Vikings and the Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, then the Lions. Yeah, Lions will get back.
I think the Lions game will be the determining factor. If he doesn't play well against the Lions, that will be, because we're talking about top competition at this point. Bills are supposed to be really good. Vikings are on a tear, even though they have a terrible defense.
Well, listen, it's a terrible defense in a dome. So if he does bad against that's a bad sign. He's going to Buffalo. To be honest with you, with no Von Miller, that's looking pretty good. They got Poyer and Milano back. It's going to be windy in Buffalo, so I'm glad it's not Zach Wilson. I'd rather it be Mike White regardless.
I'm glad that you brought that up, windy. Conditions, guys, conditions. Zach Wilson, it's too windy for me, man. Mike White, torrential downpour. John's texting us about, Alex, I don't want to hear any more about forgetting about punters. We need punters who can at least hold the ball. We're talking about conditions. I don't want to hear any more about that. Terrible. Man's out there in a monsoon throwing 22 for 28 for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions and no fumble. Just saying, 1 sack for 7 yards. Just saying, talk about those conditions.
Speaking of fumbles, speaking of conditions, what do you think other teams think when they come and they have to play the New York Jets defense?
Scared.
This defense
Yeah.
is unbelievable. Imagine being the Chicago Bears with Trevor Siemian coming out. Maybe he gets hurt pregame. Hopefully, maybe Nathan Peterman's coming out. Nope, psych. Siemian actually coming back. And now you have to play the best defense in the league. Yeah, I said it. The best defense in the NFL this year, from top to bottom. Yes, you beat Sauce on the one play. You hang up the trophy. Like, wear your hat, wear your banner. No problem. Other than that, everybody's balling, dude. I mean, it's fun because usually we're watching one side of the ball, right? Our whole life. It's usually like the defense is amazing, the offense is like, all right, like, you know, it's like we're just holding on for dear life.
You're being generous saying the Jets offense
All
is all right. No, they usually suck, bro. If the defense is good, the offense sucks, and it's vice versa
Mark
too.
Sanchez 3 touchdowns against the Patriots in the playoffs. Won us a game. So, you know.
Yeah, that was the year we were all right.
Yeah, exactly. So at the very most, they're okay. Watching the Jets yesterday, like on the replay with both sides of the ball, just absolutely killing. Special teams was improved, besides the one blunder, and we'll give that the conditions. Dude, Justin Hardy, one of my favorite players. He's one of my favorite players, man, on this whole team. He kills it. I'm so pissed that Chaz Surratt got hurt. It really doesn't bother the hell out of me, but whatever. I digress. I wish Rucker got more in the game, but yo, let's go to this defense, man. Holy crap. Who are you really, guys? It's almost like stupid to talk about this Jets, how much we annihilated this Chicago Bears offense, right? And we're going to talk about the preview against Minnesota coming up. So my question to you guys, real quick, we're talking about this defense. Is that after you saw what we did to a Bill Belichick offense, after you saw what we did to Josh Allen, all right, we broke Teddy Bridgewater on the first play, all right, so we didn't see Tua because he was hurt. Is there any team that you guys are really scared of in the AFC to go up against, just based on their offense?
No. I mean, to be fair, I mean, Kansas City. If we did face them, Kansas City Chiefs would be the team because Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes.
And Travis, we can't guard a tight end. They have Travis Kelce. That's scary, dude. We have a really tough time. I know we're singing the defensive praises. Watching that replay back, we have a tough time with tight ends. We have a tough time with pass catching out of the backfield, and I don't know what it is. It drives me crazy
every week, bro.
Every week.
There's no such thing as perfection on any team. No such thing.
So I'm trying to think.
But there's no such thing.
I'm trying to think of like who has good pass catching running backs and tight ends. Like, that's who I'm more worried about. I'm not worried about receivers.
The Chiefs are. I mean, look, man. This is
Gordon.
why when you guys talk about the Vikings defense stinking, you look on the offensive side. I know we're not doing the preview yet, but they got T.J. Hawkinson and they got Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
we're talking. That's 2 players. If you're a Jets fan, that you're like, crap.
I feel like Dalvin Cook and CJ Mosley cancel each other out. I don't know. I feel like they're just old. Like they've been here forever. They just do the same thing every game.
Look, Greg's just. If you're all just tune into the YouTube. Greg's just like, oh my god.
He got smoked by the third string running back on one play. CJ Mosley's gonna have a tough time with Dalvin Cook if you're getting cooked by the Bears' third string running back.
I just got a question, Greg. Why do you hate CJ Mosley?
Because everyone loves him. Everyone loves the guy. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It's great. It was a great interception. I'm very happy about it. It was awesome. We were up 14 points.
The heat is real, man. The heat is real.
Leading the team in tackles, Greg.
Yep. Dude, he's great. He's great. He's just not like unworldly. Like, I don't know. He quit on the team for 1 year, which was Adam Gase. I don't blame him.
You know who is unworldly?
I wouldn't want to play for Adam Gase either.
Yeah.
You know who is unworldly? DJ Reed.
Yeah.
He is unworldly. But yo, can I just do a quick little tiny tangent? You said Adam Gase and it triggered me. And we mentioned Todd Bowles. Just a little shout out to our boy Sam Darnold for going out in Carolina, making the most ridiculous touchdown where he tripped himself, fumbled it, and then rolled like a little baby into the end zone. I love him so much. He's such a classic. But dude, that guy has won football games with Todd Bowles, Adam Gase. Who's the coach of Carolina right now?
Steve Wilkes and Matt Rule.
Steve Wilkes. He won with Matt Rule, dude. He might be the best quarterback of all time. Honestly, it might be
John,
the case.
I'm gonna say this, and to all you Zach Wilson truthers out there, you're gonna hate this too. We were right in our analysis before we drafted Zach. We were right on the Sam Darnold train. We should have just stuck.
I still love Sam Darnold, bro.
We should have stuck it out. I know there's a hate because he went to Carolina and all that stuff. Should have stuck it out with him.
It was a great trade. It was a great trade, but
great trade. At the end of the day, it's a great trade because we still we benefited from that. But for some reason, Mike White doesn't pan out. Zach Wilson.
Whoa! That's he's already in the Hall of Fame. Even if he stops playing right now, he already panned out, my friend. That's the beauty of this whole thing, bro. Mike White is here.
He's a Hall of Famer, damn it.
Here forever. As long as humans exist on this earth, they will know about Mike White.
Ring of Honor. Are we gonna get Ring of Honor, Mike White?
Listen, dude, if the guy that we drafted that held out and then went to the opposing team and won a Super Bowl and then went to Tampa and won and then came back and just cost us again more money and we put him in the and like we're like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, Mike White.
Anyone can get in.
Yeah, anyone. Like,
and for hosting an awesome Jets podcast, John Meleka, Greg Albert, Alex Trataros, you're all in the Jets Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, honestly, if you could put 24 in there after everything that he did, and the fact that he went to New England and won, and then came back, he's like, "Oh yeah, now I'm washed." After I asked you guys for money, I went to other teams on Super Bowls. Can I just come back and get paid one more time?
You know what's crazy? That year when he came back and he was actually like, what was it? It was against the Texans against D-Hop where I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But he was not being challenged at all. He wasn't challenged at all up until that point. Then people were like, wait a minute. Did he use his superpowers?
Yeah.
And then as a Jets fan, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, he lived a little too long. So again, if he can get in, yes, Mike White can get in. I am hyped about this Minnesota game. I know I'm going, so therefore it's an automatic win in my head. We have to.
You came back from Cali. You're going out to Minnesota. You are quite the traveler.
For staying in the States, listen, man. This it's indoors in U.S. Bank. I bought the ticket a long time ago when the Jets were sneaky good and the Vikings were sneaky good, and it turned out they're both at the top of the conference. This could listen as a non-Jets fan for 1 second. It could be the Super Bowl. Like, it actually could be the Super Bowl. Like, both of these teams are in the playoffs. You know, they both could possibly win the division. Like,
both fan bases have been hurt.
Both fan bases are like they've been stabbed in the heart. Both teams like to lose in the craziest fashions. I mean, it'd be fantastic. But anyway, like, that's thinking way too far ahead. The point is, like, this is a really big game.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the Jets are motivated. First of all, we are road warriors, and we won in Green Bay. Like, we could win in the North. Like, it's not a big deal. And it's indoors, bro. It's indoors. Like, we're going like, this is.
Can you imagine if they open the windows? Can you imagine if they open up the roof a little bit or open up the stadium? Like, all right, let's make it a little chilly for these guys.
It's like I can't believe it. Look, dude, listen. We talked a little smack about Braden Mann. We talked about conditions. Can I just tell you guys? I think I love Greg DeLeg with all my heart. I think I love him. That 57-yarder was.
He could have had 60.
I can't remember the last time I felt that good about a kick. It just felt so good in my stomach. Like, it just felt like, wow, we're actually going to make this kick in the rain. Like, this whole wind conditions thing, it drove me nuts all week, man.
And you were hating on my underrated player when I nominated him.
You're right. You're right. 4 for 4 extra points for the Jets. That is a miracle. and you know, he missed the field goal, no problem. No problem. 57-yarder. Great. Like, the special teams is back. Justin Hardy, he's not going to let another punt go. We're going to be downing them within the 10-yard line. Braden Mann's not going to have another fumble. And Greg, to your point, we will recover a fumble this year. We will.
I hope
We are
so.
not allergic to it right now, but it's gonna come. Listen, turnovers are. We learn. They tell us, so I guess we have to just assume they're right. It's about a little bit of chance, a little bit of luck involved. The ball's gonna get into our way, man, and we get the interceptions already. Revis's cousin Jordan Whitehead doing pretty good. Man, do you guys really think that we can beat Minnesota? If we beat Minnesota, dude, we really could be at the top of the division by next week.
Dude, if Mike
If we beat Minnesota, man, I don't. You guys may not find me on this podcast. I might be out arrested for doing wild things because if the Jets win,
that's gonna be an electric rapid reaction. I don't know. Should I bring my cheese head? I don't know. That's bad luck. I don't
you may die if you do that, but that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we said Buffalo plays New England twice still. Miami has a very tough schedule.
Thursday, bro. So we're gonna know a little bit of what's going on in the division too, like before we even play.
Yeah, and Miami plays San Francisco. They play the Chargers. They play us. I think they play the Patriots again, and they play Buffalo again. So, but the division has a tough schedule. We might have the easiest remaining schedule out of all 4 teams in the AFC East.
Definitely can beat the Seahawks, Lions, Jaguars. We even beat the Dolphins again, bro. I'm not even worried about the Dolphins, honestly.
Yeah, to answer your question, am I worried about any team? There's no team out there that I'm worried about. If Mike White can play what he plays, like,
are we all right? Are we okay?
Again, remember,
not worried. That's insane.
Mike White did have 4 interceptions against Buffalo last season. So
that's what I'm worried about. See, that's listen. I want the Patriots to beat the Bills on Thursday, even though we have the tiebreaker with the Bills, but we have the win over the Patriots right now. So just if the Patriots beat the Bills, which would be whatever.
Make the Bills hungry against us, John. Are you sure about that?
It's true. I don't think we're gonna beat the Bills. We're gonna sweep the Bills.
If we beat the Bills, you always talk about, John, 3rd time in the playoffs. That's rough, bro.
Well, now we're talking about beating Buffalo a 3rd time. Like, oh my god!
I just don't want the Patriots to win the freaking division. I don't really I want to win the division. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like the idea of I want New England to beat Buffalo.
Because
no.
We're in this situation because Zach Wilson couldn't do his goddamn job. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, both those games against New England, I think, were winnable. And if we win
they were in total. The
Right.
Patriots are not that good.
Yeah.
They're not that good.
The Bills.
Oh my god, that is the problem. This is the most frustrating thing I have to watch. Is that I'm coming into the season with actually hope and optimism, and then I have to watch us know that we're better than the Patriots, and then we lose to the Patriots
Twice.
Greg, I actually agree with you because the Patriots play the Bills this week and the last week of the season.
Yep.
In between that is Cardinals, Raiders, Bengals, Dolphins.
Yeah.
Patriots might not lose for a while.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yes, you're right. I do want the Bills to win, especially because we played them and if we beat them twice, then we're good to go.
Yeah, the easiest 2 schedules is definitely between the Patriots and us, depending on who you like and home or away games or whatever. But right now, 1 week at a time, man. Minnesota Vikings is going to be a very tough game. Justin Jefferson is that good. To your point, Alex, Hawkinson is a problem. Cook is a problem.
Stephon Diggs.
So.
Stephon Diggs, Bills.
Yeah. With Minnesota, it's gonna be tough.
The issue for that game is I'm gonna have Justin Jefferson on my fantasy team too, so I'm gonna be like,
I know.
The issue for that game is TJ Hawkinson is gonna absolutely.
I have him too.
That is the actual issue. Of that game.
But to kind of wrap us up here, I didn't get a chance to really talk about this defense too much besides how much I hate CJ Mosley, which I don't, but whatever it is, dude. I can't remember the last time I was this excited about all 3 levels of our defense. You guys were talking about teams and prior teams or whatever. Like we had a stout defense, but our offense wasn't that good. I don't remember the last time we had a defense that was this good at all 3 levels. Revis was great, but we had problems at the cornerback position. We had problems at the safety position. These safeties we talked about going into the season were big question marks. They started out really bad the first couple of weeks. We were all very nervous about them. They have rounded into form in a way that I couldn't imagine having safety play for this Jets defense. It's been incredible. DJ Reed, I mean, one of the best free agent signings we've had in a decade. He has been incredible, and I thought he was going to be good because I trusted everyone what people were saying. I did not know he was going to be this good. I knew Sauce Gardner was going to be this good. I didn't know he was going to be this good this season right away. He's incredible. Linebackers, apparently the people in the people in the building like the linebackers. The linebackers play good. Quan Alexander had a great punch out on a fumble.
Quan Alexander, yes.
And then the defensive line, what do you want to talk about? I mean, yeah, Bryce Huff, he got a sack because no one decided to block, but he got a sack. Like,
can we talk about Trevor Siemian? Can we talk about Trevor Siemian's like, yeah, I'm not going up the middle. Let me just go to the side. Quan Alexander's right. They'd be like, nah, son, nah, you ain't coming this way.
It's awesome.
Oh. Love everything about it. But yo, honestly, like, and we're gonna wrap it up. But I mean, even when you watch Rex Ryan, like that with Cromartie, he just got targeted more, and so just by the sheer number of probability, he was going to give up more plays than Reeves because Reeves wasn't they didn't really try Reeves at all. And then Jim Leonard, Eric Smith was yeah.
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 But even like on this defense,
mad respect for them. Well, don't get me wrong. Love Jim Leonard, love Eric Smith. Like
Wisconsin doesn't love Jim Leonard.
I know that was tough.
I know.
I mean, Luke Fickle's Luke Fickle, but dude, but even to your point about they were targeting Cromartie more, so he would give up more plays, this and that. Like, who are they targeting for us right now? Like, they're not throwing to Sauce really. They tried it a couple times this week. To your point, John, he gave up one pass, so they're trying DJ Reed. They're just not going to DJ Reed. It really is like the middle of the field and checkdowns are where people are finding success. It sucks to see, but it's incredible that that's what's beating us is dunk off passes to tight ends and running backs because you can't throw it over the top on this defense. I can't remember the last time I was this confident about a defense that we've had. It's been awesome to watch.
I think that's a good place to end it because just praises all around, man. It was a good win. We're going to be back later this week to preview the Jets at the Minnesota Vikings before John heads out there to represent Gang Green as he always does because John just loves the Midwest. John loves the North. He loves Green Bay. He loves Wisconsin. He loves Minnesota.
Some cool stadiums next year. I already scouted. The Jets got Vegas on the map. Jets got Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as usual, we go to Denver. I feel like we live in Denver now, but I mean,
can we just play Denver at home? Like we're always out in Denver. Good.
Denver. Shout out to Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited.
Yeah, this is a good place to end.
Vikings. But yo, hit that over for 45.5. Shout out to Winning Pick Weekly. That's on the Knicks, Jets, etc. period YouTube. That's one of the playlists. Like, subscribe to us. But yo, hit the over right now. It already jumped up to 45.5. Jets +3. I think that might go down too. Take that now. The Jets have been money on the under 63%. I think this is going to be an over. The Minnesota Vikings defense stinks, but the Jets defense is stingy. But yo, they have a TJ Hawkinson. They got the Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. And listen, Thielen and Jefferson versus Reed and Sauce Gardner, all-time matchup. I'm so excited to watch that firsthand. Like, that's why I got to go to that game, man. And it's indoors. Indoor game in December, bro. That's how can I say no?
Meaningful football, meaningful Jets football in December, in indoor, and playing another top team.
It's going to be great.
Feeling confident going to that game. Like, you could go.
Being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, true.
Let's go.
True.
And on that note, thank you all for tuning in for another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. You all know what to do. If you listen to this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a review or comment. We're also partnered with Minute Media and Fansites, so you can find this podcast on the Jet Press or the Daily Knicks. We also got that YouTube channel, Knicks, Jets, etc. period. Find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And when you watch a video, hit the like button, leave a comment, add to the conversation. We need to know your thoughts and opinions. Uncle Mike, where you at, bro? Uncle Mike, I know you're back on the bandwagon. You're not even on the bandwagon. You're just back on the wagon, baby. I know you were upset against the New England Patriots. We lost. It ripped our hearts out as well, but I know you're back. I know you are back up and running. All right?
He was not very confident going in. He said, "Yep, just got a bunch of texts. ... I guess it's Mike White." That's when Zach Wilson got benched. Texted me on Sunday. Was very worried because he's going over to the Thursday for Thanksgiving. He was going over to a house. I wasn't going there, and he was like, "Listen, are they going to play soccer or are they going to play me some football?" So he was on edge all week. Mike White with the football versus the soccer. He was on edge all week. Mike is back on, bro. He's back on, and he's thinking playoffs.
Let's go, man. Like I said, man is up and running like Stringer Bell in The Wire. Let's go. So, with that being said, there's also another podcast over at that YouTube channel. It's called Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, and our guy and co-host Chip Murphy. These guys have been talking about throughout the pod. These guys have been doing a great job. If you like to put money down on the line because you love sports betting, these guys got you covered. Make sure to go check them out. They're covering college football, NFL. Look, man, I tune in all the time. I can't wait for it to be up and running. Sports betting that is in Massachusetts because I got the intel right here. All right, I got the intel right here. So you guys should go check them out as well. Make sure to bet responsibly though. And then last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. Thank you everyone for tuning in for the Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. We out.
JTS, Jets.